In this video, we're going to teach you step by step how to paint a rose from Dianna Shyne's brand new course, the 8-Day Flower Painting Challenge. We've been obsessed with flowers lately at Acrylic University because we touched on the subject of gardens. The marriage of painters and gardening is as old as painting itself. Claude Monet was perhaps the most famous painter-gardener, having painted many gardens throughout his career, such as this one called the Garden of Monet at Argenteuil. At 50 years old, Monet made enough money from the sale of his paintings that he was able to buy a home in Giverny, and it was there that he would mastermind his dream garden. Monet planned his garden meticulously to achieve a beautiful aesthetic. His painting, The Artist's Garden at Giverny, featured this garden, as did his painting, Garden Path at Giverny. Of Claude Monet, Anne Dumas once said, "No other artist was as serious a gardener or as knowledgeable." First up, let's talk about the supplies that Dianna will be using for her painting. For her colors, she'll be using titanium white, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue green shade, quinacridone magenta, and cadmium yellow medium. If you don't have these exact colors, one red, blue, and yellow as well as white and black will do just fine. You'll also notice a sixth color on her palette. This is an orange color she created by mixing magenta and yellow. It was left over from another painting and she didn't want to waste it, so she put it on her palette just in case. This isn't 100% necessary. The supplies she'll be using for this painting are an 8x8 white stretched canvas, Princeton Catalyst flat brushes. These are Dianna's favorite brushes. They're very high quality and last a long time and are very responsive. The incredible Masterson Stay Wet palette. This keeps your acrylic paints from drying out as you're using them. It's a life changer for acrylic painters. Dianna usually plans modifications to her reference photo ahead of time. She chose this reference photo because of the dark background. This will allow the flower to really pop off of the canvas. Another thing she notices is that because her canvas size is so small, she won't be able to fit everything if she copies her reference photo exactly. For this reason, she plans to shorten the stem in her final painting and also make the blossom a bit bigger. Remember, you are the master of your painting and you can do whatever you want to it if you think it would make a more pleasing piece. Next thing Dianna thinks about is the shape of her subject.
But I want to look at the initial shape. There's a shape that this rose has. It's a circle. There's a few petals that drop off the side, but the basic shape is a circle. If we look at a ball, we notice that the ball is lit on the top side and shadowed on the bottom. And that's the same way it is, even though there's a petal that's flipped over and the flower seems full of light. We're going to look at how we create this ball shape. The other thing a rose has that's pretty particular to roses is this cut off ball at the bottom with these little snaggles that come down the side. I don't know what they're called. So we're going to look at the shape of this thing that comes up under the rose and how we can create a rose with darks and lights in this environment.
At the end of this step, you should have something that looks like this. To do this, she's going to paint her canvas a dark color, then sketch the scene by using the end of her brush to scratch the paint while it's still wet. To mix the color for the background, she uses phthalo blue green shade, quinacridone magenta, and a tiny touch of cadmium yellow medium. This will create a dark blue/purple color. Next, Dianna will premix the colors she plans on using for her painting. These mixes can be divided into several parts: the shadow blossom color, the light blossom color, the shadow leaf/stem color, the light leaf/stem color, and the background purple color. For the shadow blossom color, mix together magenta and cadmium yellow. For the light color of the rose, just add some white to it. To mix up the light leaf and stem color, mix phthalo blue and cadmium yellow together. For the dark purple that we'll use in our background, mix together phthalo blue and the magenta. And then finally for our shadow leaf color, mix together magenta, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, and yellow. With all the prep work done, let's start painting. Because she's using colors that aren't super opaque, Dianna first paints the silhouette of the rose in pure white. She'll paint her piece on top of this white so that her colors will cover nicely. First, she blocks in the blossom color using her shadow blossom color and her light blossom color. For the gradations on the side of the rose, she mixes her shadow and light blossom color together to achieve the color that she wants. This is what she has after blocking in the blossom. Next, she'll loosely block in her leaves, not the stem, using her light leaf color. It looks something like this. After that, she uses some of her dark purple and dark green to shape the rose some more, as well as add some variation to the background. Next, she blocks in the stem and underneath portion of the flower using her shadow leaf color. From there, she uses her background green color to add some dimension to the background. She also mixes up a slightly brighter shadow leaf color for the lit part of the underside of the flower. In addition, she mixes up a light blue using phthalo blue and white, and adds that to the background to mix up the green a little bit. After that, she basically just continues refining and adding details to the rose until it reaches a spot that she's happy with. This is hard to describe in a brief period of time, so I'll just show you a sped up version of the video. All done! That's how to paint a rose step by step with professional acrylic artist Dianna Shyne. All the footage from this video is from her course, The Flower Painting Challenge. If you want to paint gorgeous florals, this is the only course you'll ever need. It's available right now at miniaturechallenge.com. Thanks for watching and happy painting.